Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your Cancer tarot prediction for the next 2 weeks. So these predictions are going to be starting officially, although they may unofficially start earlier, but officially they start the 20th of April and they run through the 4th of May. I am going to be looking at a life cycle that you Cancers are going through right now. If this doesn't resonate with you, you may want to check your rising or your moon sign when they come out if they haven't already. Um, so we're going to look at a life cycle, and a life cycle sets us up to learn something or to experience something. And so we're going to look at the setup of that life cycle. We'll look at the lesson or experience, and then we'll look at what happens as you incorporate that lesson or experience into your life, Cancers. Okay, so I just already shuffled the cards and put them down as I prepared for this video. I didn't actually really look at them as I did that. So the video is still going to be a nice and fresh read for you. Let's just jump in, shall we? Okay, so Cancers, the first card that you have coming up is the Lady, and the Lady is showing up in reverse. This is my card that indicates to me something about your environment, and your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Time out just a second. Miss Anne, I have to talk to you, honey. I've been waiting to see you here. First of all, I've been trying to respond to your email and it keeps coming back that it's not deliverable to the address that you're writing to me under. So I don't know what's going on there, but I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. And secondly, I am doing much, much, much better. They told me that they put me under anesthesia to do the biopsy, and they told me that I would be 24 hours later, I would be able to drive and do whatever. So I thought within 24 hours I would be fine. I wasn't. I'm not used to medicine. My body was like, oh no, we're just going to rest. So that's what's been going on until now. Tiffany James, hello, hello. Glad to see you here. So let's get back to Cancer's reading. So, Cancer, this card is about your environment, and your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Typically, we're talking about home, but I have had people tell me, oh, that's work or that's school. So what I'm seeing here, when we've got the Lady in reverse, this is telling me that what is coming to you in your environment is exactly the opposite of what you want, at least in some regard. Okay, it doesn't mean your whole environment is just the opposite of what you want, but there is something going on where you're trying to manifest some type of change in your environment and you're getting exactly what you don't want instead of what you do want. All right, so next, what we have coming up talks to me about your subconscious leanings, and what we have is the Strength card in reverse. So what's going on with you Cancers is that there is somebody in your life who is telling you, well, you're not very good at this, or maybe you shouldn't try that, or basically they're cutting down your own confidence in yourself. And your subconscious is working on, is this really believable? Should I be paying attention to this person? Your subconscious is working on, where should my self-confidence level actually be? How much attention should I be paying to what this person is saying? How much am I buying into that's not even really real? It's just this other person's perception. Okay, so that's your subconscious leanings. Very cool. Thank you, Miss Ann, because that's not the first time either. I think the same thing happened with a contest email I tried to send you. Let's see. Next, we're looking, Cancers, at two different things in this card. Your next card is the Ten of Cups in reverse, but what I'm looking at here is your learning style and your communication style. This is one of the card positions that the normal meaning of the card pretty much almost completely goes out the window. So those of you who know tarot, this card and the next card, just ignore what your traditional meaning is for this. Almost completely. Okay. So this is why I don't really like to show the cards for this spread, but I think you guys like to see the cards, so we're doing this. Anyway, so what I'm looking at for this card, Cancers, is first of all your learning style, and secondly your communication style. So right now, as it pertains to this particular life cycle, Cancers, I feel like there's some disappointment that you have gone through, and I think that you are learning something from that disappointment. You are learning things like, look before you leap type of things, that everything that glitters is not gold type of lessons are what's coming out here. There's been some kind of disappointment, and that disappointment has been the teacher for you as you're going through this particular life cycle, Cancers. And a lot of this setup is present tense. You'll recognize that. Once we get later on in the spread, we'll get into more future stuff for most of you. Let's see. Let's look at communication style for you guys here. Cancers, I think that what's going on with communication is that you're being very careful who you share information with. You're sharing information with those who are closest to you, those who need to know what's going on in your mind and your heart, or those who have demonstrated that they care what's going on in your mind and your heart. I don't think that you're sharing this kind of communication with everybody, especially considering what you're learning has to do with disappointments. I don't think you feel comfortable sharing that with everybody. Okay. All right, next, what we're looking at is work. And I do see work in a strange way. I see work as not only that thing that you do to make a living to bring money in, but I also see it as those things that we do to improve our own inner character. So when we're looking at work here, we're going to look at both of these. And so what I'm seeing is that whatever's going on at work for you, Cancers, you're feeling very inspired and energized about something new, some kind of new opportunity. Maybe you're starting a new job. Maybe there's a new project. Maybe there's a new client. But there's something new that's going on that has you feeling very energized whenever it comes to your work, Cancer. And as far as inner work, Cancers, I think there's something been going on a while in your life where you haven't really been looking at the full truth. It's been right in front of you, don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody's been trying to be secretive or deceptive. It's right in front of you. But I don't think you've been able to look at the situation in a way that's honest with yourself about what's actually going on right in front of you. And I think what's going on as your inner work right now is that you're coming to that point where you're realizing, I have to really face the truth of this situation so that I can handle it in a way that makes sense. And so your inner work is really facing the truth of the situation, letting the light come in, letting that clarity come in around that situation, and then acting on it appropriately, not sweeping it under the rug, but acting on it appropriately. That's the inner work. Okay, next up, what I'm looking at for you, Cancers, is that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. So what we have showing up here is the Tower card in reverse. This just tells me that you've probably had multiple situations sort of fall apart in your fingertips, situations that made you feel secure and that you thought would last indefinitely, that have just sort of fallen apart. With this Tower card coming up in reverse, what this is telling me is that you are getting really good at finding new opportunities that are better than that old thing that you had. And so you guys are moving on in a very positive way. And in fact, you're overcoming. This is when the Tower is in reverse. This is my Overcomers card. This is actually in that stage of life where you're overcoming and you're actually coming out better than what you were before things started falling apart. So that's a really nice thing to see come up for you, Cancers, especially since I'm a fellow water sign. Let's hope that rubs off on Scorpios too. All right. Gotcha. I hear you, Tiffany. I kind of think that the way this card came up, that means that those Tower moments are working out in your favor in the long run. All right, let's look next at those things that you stand for, Cancers. What we have showing up here is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Pentacles in reverse is you are paying something off and you're standing up for that. So maybe you're paying off an old debt. Maybe there's not even any retributions from this old debt on your credit history at this point. Or maybe this is, somebody that loaned you money that then they turned into somebody that you don't really hang out with or care for that much anymore, but you're still paying them back. So you're paying somebody back, and you've got somebody in your life, Cancer, who's saying, why are you even doing that? They weren't expecting you to do that. Why? And you're standing up for this. You're saying it's only right that I pay them back. Okay? That's for Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. All of this is for Cancer. All right, so next what we're looking at is how are other people perceiving you? Now you've got the King of Swords showing up here. First of all, this is a take charge sort of guy. This is someone of swift action, and this is someone who is logical. You do things by the book. People are seeing you as somebody who does things by the book. Everything is sort of black and white. And this would explain why you're paying money back to somebody who really doesn't expect you to pay it back, probably. Or, there's no repercussion if you don't, at least. But you are looking at this as black and white. I owe this person money, I'm paying them back. All right? So that's how other people are seeing you, as somebody who's very logical, very black and white. All right? So all that stuff is going to be present tense, Cancers. Most of you should recognize all of that. Next, what we're going to look at is the lesson or experience of the life cycle, which you may recognize. You may recognize that it's coming down the pike, even if it hasn't started yet. Excuse me. Or you may not recognize at all because it's just not here yet. So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to look at what happens as you incorporate that lesson or experience into your life. And same thing, you may or may not recognize that part of the spread too. So lesson or experience, Cancers. 8 of Cups. You are walking away from a situation that is making you feel depleted and taking away all your energy. You're walking away from it. You're cutting your losses. It's interesting because you see this guy, he's walking away. He's got all these cups. He's left them there on this little peninsula looking thing. He's cut his losses. He's like, all these cups are empty. They're depleted anyway. If I stay around and try to put what are in them, I'm going to end up depleted and more depleted. I need to just leave them go and walk away. So that's what we have you do. You're walking away, what we see you doing, I guess I should say, you're walking away from a situation that made you feel depleted and like you just were not getting, you were putting in way more energy than what you were getting back, whether it was financially, whether it was emotionally, whatever it was a completely uneven situation. It was completely unbalanced. And so where you were spending in some way on this situation, you weren't getting back. You weren't getting replenished for what you were putting into it. And so we see you walking away from that situation very definitively. Cancers, I really think that this has to do with friends or business associates. And the reason I say that is because when we've got the walkaway card, the next card that we have around this is my 3 of Cups, and it's a 3 of Cups in reverse. You could be walking away from a friendship that just was depleting you. You could absolutely be walking away from a friendship that was depleting you. It was just dragging you down. You were doing a lot of things for this other person, but this other person either wasn't in a position to, wasn't able to, or just flat didn't care to reciprocate. Okay? At the same time that what you're walking away from is this person that basically was kind of a vampire of your energy in one way or another. You've got the Princess of Pentacles showing up. Walking away from this person is actually helping you to feel better, to feel like you have more energy to do your own life. And it's also improving your own finances when you walk away from this person. So apparently you were doing things that took money to help this person, and now you're not feeling like you need to do that because you've walked away from the situation. And so now your finances are actually getting a little bit better. Same thing with your energy. You were taking your time, your energy, your efforts to help this person. Well, now you have time, energy, effort to actually take care of yourself, to do the things that you actually need to do for you. Okay? And then crowning this spread, which is the ultimate fulfillment of the life cycle, which actually kicks off your next life cycle. We have the Prince of Pentacles. And when we've got the Prince of Pentacles right next to the Princess of Pentacles, This just says you are not only do you have more resources at your fingertips and available to you because you've quit spending those resources on somebody else, you're being very responsible with those resources. You're making sure that they cover everything that you want them to cover. So if you want to go watch your nephew play t-ball, you now have energy to do that. You're not dragged out and tired by the time it's time to go watch that game. If you want to save money to start investing, now you're able to do that. Okay? This is you being very responsible with your resources, with your energy, with your finances, making sure that they cover everything that you want them to cover. Okay? So that's what I see coming up for Cancers, or at least a part. It doesn't cover all of life, but it covers a significant part that comes up anywhere between April 20th, or really now, through May 4th, possibly longer. Depends how much you embrace the lesson or experience, or how much you push against it. You can push against it and make this thing really drag out for a long time, or you can embrace the lesson and move forward really quickly too. Either way. All right, so let me say thank you very much, all of you, for being here. I do offer live readings if you're interested in those. I've got 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour if you want me to look specifically at your particular energies. Those are all on my website below, which is www.amista.info. And I also offer 1 and 2 question recorded readings as well as Reiki sessions. Thank you to all of you who have hung out here. Thank you to those of you who have given me thumbs ups. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you taking the effort to do that. And thank you also to those of you who feel like you're benefiting from this video and like maybe somebody else could benefit from it too. Thank you for sharing this video as well. The whole point of doing these free videos is to help as many people as possible, and you guys getting me in front of as many people as possible only furthers that. So I am appreciative of that. Thank you, all of you, for being here. And thank you to everybody who sent me prayers and energy while I was down. Everybody have a fantastic, wonderful, thrilling, and peaceful day. Peace out.